United States, you may now begin your presentation.
Ruthless competition and hostile takeovers is
Our
what our
fast-paced society
marketplace aspires
luxury and
Why should
overindulgent power and wealth is what everyone wants.
Plow down homes and build shopping malls. Who cares about people?
America is having a conflict of conscience. We love our free enterprise system, granting so many people the chance at a better life. But sometimes even the good things, when taken to an extreme, can have a negative impact.
Using free enterprise for oneself without regard for the bigger picture can destroy the very thing that created it, community.
But that's where SIFE USA steps in, with its head for business and heart for the world. Knowledge without a conscience can destroy, but when knowledge and goodwill are in collaboration, we can truly make a difference, across the world and right here in the United States of America.
We are the SIFE team from Belmont University in Nashville, Tennessee, and we're proud to represent the United States. Our program takes pride in its 12 projects, not just because we've helped secure over $2.2 million for our community partners this year, but because along the way we've built relationships for continued success. Our projects are much more than just one-day training sessions, but instead focus on long-term relationship building so that we get to know the people, understand their needs and expectations, and then give them our expertise for the best shot at success.
In order to understand our projects, it may be helpful to know more about our community. Our university is located in downtown Nashville, Tennessee. Most people recognize this city as Music City, USA, or the heart of country music. It's also a city with a great need. Nashville frequently sees gang violence, homelessness, and prostitution. We intentionally seek out those in need and use our skills to empower them and help them make their goals a reality.
These needs bring us to our first project under the SIFE criterion of market economics with our Access DVD series. This project also meets the SIFE criteria of success skills, financial literacy, and business ethics.
According to a UN report, approximately 80,000 refugees moved to the United States last year alone, and Nashville's an epicenter for refugee relocation. In fact, due to our large Kurdish refugee population, Nashville was one of only 9 cities to host voting centers for the Iraqi election in March of this year. Our Metro Services estimates that over 40,000 refugees have moved specifically to Nashville, specifically to receive refugee status.
Despite prior training, many refugees report being overwhelmed by a market economy that is nothing like what they're used to. When we began working with area refugees, we were moved by their fear and uncertainty of their ability to survive after government assistance programs wore off. In conducting a needs assessment with individuals as well as with refugee resettlement centers, we found that many assistance materials were not being used, simply because they were in print, and many refugee centers had never learned to read, even in their native language.
That's why we created Access, a 6-set video series used to acclimate refugees into the United States. People with no concept of spending or saving due to their previous ration-based lifestyles. Last year, we created a money and banking DVD. This year, we've expanded the project's reach not only by streaming the video online, but also by expanding our language options from 4 to 7 languages, including narration in Arabic, Burmese, English, Kirundi, Somali, Spanish, and Swahili to meet the needs of even more refugees. This project has received a recommendation from 3 leading resettlement organizations in the United States. Also, Belmont SIFE has received a new partner and funder on our project, SunTrust Banks. We are currently in further negotiations with SunTrust to place the DVDs in all 1,700 locations throughout the United States, as well as linking it to its corporate website. Finally, the Nashville Mayor's Office has asked us to partner with them and the Federal Reserve in spearheading a component of its poverty reduction initiative, using the DVD to enable all of the unbanked in our community to open and sustain banking relationships.
100% of the 26 refugee families in our pilot population have now opened and successfully maintained new bank accounts. Additionally, 20 different agencies over 16 states have been using our DVD series, translating to an audience of over 12,000 refugees.
And having this DVD available to all refugees at centers like ours is kind of almost a learning platform for people like me. And so after they watch the DVD, they can ask me any questions they might have. And the fact that that the DVD is offered in many different languages, it's absolutely fantastic.
Again, these immigrants have never used United States currency, much less an ATM card or a bank account. As a result, this group has become prey to multiple credit schemes. With this new information, refugees are empowered to keep from being victimized and to take a necessary step toward obtaining employment. By establishing relationships and teaching budgeting and banking principles, and by turning this into a nationwide effort, we're educating and empowering refugees to thrive in our market-based economy.
Criterion 2, Success Skills, 100 Kings. This project also meets the SIFE criteria of financial literacy and business ethics.
While the U.S. is proud to be a world leader in many areas, there is one area in which being a leader isn't admirable: crime. King's College lists the United States as having the highest prison population rate in the world. Today, many young men fall out of a life of education and into a life of crime. Understanding that up to 1 in 3 black men who don't attend university end up in the U.S. prison system, we became passionate to empower this vulnerable population. We partnered with the organization 100 Black Men of Middle Tennessee and its 100 Kings program to provide a better future for inner city teens.
Belmont SIFE has been working with this organization over the past 5 years, providing financial literacy courses, tutoring the students in their schoolwork, and mentoring them as they've grown up. This year, Belmont was asked to help those students interested in attending universities. We started by proving that higher education was within their grasp. We gave tours of our own campus in Nashville, Tennessee, and helped finance a trip to Atlanta, Georgia for students to visit universities there. We noticed, however, that the students' entrance exam scores were going to be a serious hurdle to their access to universities, so throughout the year we tutored them both in the math and English sections of those standardized tests. Next, we guided the students through the admissions process by providing tips on writing college essays, as well as how to find the school that's right for them. Finally, we held sessions for students and their parents on filling out federal financial aid forms, as well as how to find scholarships on the state and institutional levels.
Of the 40 high school seniors who've mentored, all 40 applied to universities, and 38 received acceptance letters, with financing totaling over $550,000. For many, attending a university is something they never dreamed possible.
Hello, my name is Dejan Walden. I've been accepted to New York University, Georgia Tech, and Emory University.
MTSU, and Tennessee Tech.
MTSU. Watkins Art.
MTSU.
The Vanderbilt University, Washington University in St. Louis, Georgia Tech, and the University of Arkansas.
MTSU, Tennessee Tech, and University of Arkansas.
Tennessee State, Austin Peay State University, Middle Tennessee State University.
I can honestly say that had the SIFE program not been there, I would not be where I am today.
2 students modeled an organization after Belmont SIFE at their own school, tutoring others to gain university acceptance, furthering the project's sustainability. Also, over the summer, we hosted a university preparation workshop for students and their parents on how to choose a major, manage their time, and how to continue to finance their education. We are continuing university entrance exam preparation for the 100 Kings still in high school, as well as 2 new organizations, the Oasis Center and the Nashville Stars. By establishing long-term relationships with these students over the past 5 years, working with them to gain university acceptance and funding, as well as helping them start a service organization of their own, we are truly giving inner city black youths a chance to succeed.
Criterion 3, Entrepreneurship. 147 million orphans. This project also meets all other SIFE criteria.
During the summer of 2009, Belmont SIFE partnered with 2 Nashville women whose passion for orphans led them to adopt 9 children of their own from 3 different nations. The high adoption fees and medical expenses created a unique economic burden for their families, so in an effort to supplement their household incomes, Gwen and Suzanne began selling t-shirts out of the trunks of their own cars, starting a for-profit business they entitled 147 Million Orphans, also known as 147. Despite their hard work, the women were unable to earn enough profit to make ends meet. After consulting with Belmont SIFE, we then stepped in to help these struggling social entrepreneurs.
After conducting a thorough needs assessment, we recognized that 147's corporate structure, marketing, inventory management, and bookkeeping were all limiting their success. We recognized 5 key areas where we could improve 147's operations and bottom line. First, we recognized a gap in the way their taxes were reported and reformed the process. Second, we gave 147 seed money for the first round of fabric for a new product. Third, we computerized their accounting system for financial tracking. Fourth, we analyzed their distribution channel and walked them through how to best distribute their product. And finally, we helped coordinate marketing materials, including materials for conferences, product tags, and sales kits.
Prior to working with Belmont SIFE, the 147 organization could barely generate $500 in monthly sales. Now, since their start just 14 months ago, those numbers have soared to $40,000 per month.
Where would we be had we not been on the treadmills and someone told us about SIFE? We'd probably still be on the treadmills trying to figure out how to get this thing going. We would be behind. We know exactly what we want. We just know how to get there. And so y'all were the bridge that bridged that gap to just fill us full of information and give us several different paths to take. And then we were able to choose that path to get us to where we wanted to be.
147's success didn't stop there. With our help, they decided to intentionally incorporate social benefit into every step of its value chain. These impacts can be seen in 6 distinct areas. First, 147 has produced the income needed for Gwen and Suzanne to support their 9 adoptions. Second, 147 has helped over 50 families from across the United States raise more than $75,000 to finance their own adoptions. Third, one of 147's suppliers, John Jiho, is a local Sudanese refugee who was introduced to the women through another Belmont SIFE partnership. John has launched his own entrepreneurial sewing business, hired several other local refugees, and has earned more than $12,000 sewing 147 handbags. Ironically, John was once one of the same orphans that these women seek to serve.
Not only are these benefits found domestically, but they can be seen internationally as well. With the assistance of a Belmont SIFE alumnus, the 4th area of 147 is seen. We connected 147 to 18 Karamojong tribe women living in Uganda to purchase their hand-woven necklaces to sell alongside 147 products. These necklaces are made from recycling paper products found throughout their village. Previously, these women were living lives of prostitution just to survive. But now, each woman earns $180 each month. When considering the average Ugandan survives on about $1 a day, these former prostitutes now have a regular income that allows them to support their families, empowering them to change the direction of their lives. Fifth, 147 has used its profits to fund over 250,000 meals at orphanages in Jinja, Uganda and Port-au-Prince, Haiti. Finally, the women of 147 have used their profits to support the construction of HIV/AIDS shelters in Ethiopia called Almost Home. Thus, what started out as a for-profit organization not successful enough to meet the needs of even its owners, Belmont SIFE has turned into a thriving business so successful that its impacts are seen around the globe.
Criterion 4, Financial Literacy, Thistle Farms. This project also meets the SIFE criteria of market economics, success skills, and entrepreneurship.
According to a New York Times article, women caught into lives of prostitution and sexual abuse are often exceedingly poor and plagued by devastatingly low levels of self-esteem. Thus, providing financial opportunities to members of this group can literally change the lives of women in this unfortunate state.
And that's where Belmont SIFE steps in, with its connection to Thistle Farms. Thistle Farms is the entrepreneurial segment of the Magdalene House, a rehabilitation program that helps former prostitutes and drug addicts transition into a safe and healthy lifestyle. While the women receive counseling and support through Magdalene, they make candles and body products through the Thistle Connection to both fund the program and provide job training. Belmont has become a vital portion of this organization for the past 4 years, with efforts occurring on the corporate and individual levels.
On the corporate level, Belmont SIFE played a crucial role in securing a $1 million grant for Thistle's new warehouse and equipment. Our role was so critical that we were named a partner in kind with significant roles in the implementation of the $1 million grant.
Individually, Belmont SIFE students have been meeting with the women 2 times per week, teaching courses in financial literacy and computer proficiency. Later, we merged the 2 disciplines together, teaching financial concepts by using Microsoft Office products. By having the women construct the financial statements of their own business using Excel, they were able to understand the relationship between revenues, costs, and profits. In fact, many of the women commented that they were now motivated to do what they could to cut down on unnecessary costs.
At first, the women were by merely touching a computer keyboard, they could crash the entire system. Now all 21 women show computer proficiency, and 8 are performing at a university level. The women use these skills to then present a profit and loss presentation as a qualitative assessment of their financial literacy training. By displaying a mastery in financial literacy and computer concepts, the women have been empowered to expand their future employment opportunities.
Criterion 5, Environmental Sustainability, Environmental Education Series. This project also meets the SIFE criterion of business ethics.
Last year, Belmont SIFE created a bilingual children's book focused on organic farming that we sold through Whole Foods grocery stores. Due to the success of the project, officials of a neighboring city, Franklin, Tennessee, approached us and asked if we would produce a second book in conjunction with their environmental campaign, Don't Be a Water Hog, aimed to teach children about water conservation and help the city reduce the cost of its water treatment and infrastructure.
With Don't Be a Water Hog, we went further than our previous book by creating a week-long activity-based curriculum for elementary schools to use with the book. In addition, each day of Water Week contained a short video presentation where Victor Willoughby, a fictional scientist, introduced the concepts learned each day.
Hi there, I'm Victor Willoughby, and I'm a water hero. Welcome to Water Week.
You want to be a water hero, not a water hog. That's the message Franklin students are learning today as part of a new water conservation program. News Channel 5's Steve Hayslip found out it's the teachers who make this program so unique.
Instead of merely teaching the water-saving principles through a traditional lesson, we instituted a peer teaching program. After the 5th grade students had mastered the material, they were then transformed into teachers themselves, taking our environmental curriculum into their school's own 2nd and 3rd grade classrooms. Over 400 students participated in our activities, and we've garnered financial support for the Water Hog books through the City of Franklin. In a pre- and post-test reading of our books, students reported a 37% increase in knowledge.
The Franklin City Council was so impressed with our success that they described our program on one of their monthly billing reports to all area residents. According to the City of Franklin, after our program, their water usage dropped 10%, 21 million gallons from the previous year, despite the fact that their city's overall population had increased. For a city who publicly declared itself as in a water emergency, this overall decrease in water consumption has not only conserved water to preserve our most precious global resource, but has also saved tens of thousands of dollars in wasted water infrastructure changes. Saving water and saving money, a true environmentally sustainable project.
Criterion 6, Business Ethics. Lessons learned from corporate corruption. This also fulfills the criterion of financial literacy.
In today's society, most people hear about the poor ethical decisions of business leaders, but not the reasons or pressures behind these decisions. In order to bring true understanding to both students and professionals, we created a 3-tiered program completed by experts with first-hand knowledge and high-stakes business ethics.
First, Belmont SIFE, in partnership with the Center for Business Ethics, hosted Richard Kelly, a former FBI agent. Agent Kelly spoke about his involvement in the major accounting corporate fraud case at Health South. He gave 2 presentations, one aimed towards college students, and a second targeted towards a local business community. Mr. Kelly gave his first-hand knowledge of corporate fraud cases to explain how accounting misrepresentations and corporate greed can lead good people to make unethical decisions.
Second, Belmont SIFE organized a panel comprised of CFOs from Genesco, Tractor Supply Company, and Thomas Nelson Publishing. The discussion was directed at graduate students and the local business community. Each speaker addressed their own personal experiences of dealing with the pressures of maintaining an ethically sound corporation in the midst of a tough competitive workplace. A SIFE student led the discussion and directed the speakers to address a multitude of ethics-related topics.
Not only did we address the university and professional communities, but we also presented business ethics workshops to nearly 400 high school students in the Nashville area, and we posted our presentation online for students around the world. Afterwards, students were urged to participate in an ethics essay competition sponsored by Northwestern Mutual and its Pruitt Group, with scholarships that ranged from $200 to $1,000. Continuing our desire to provide first-hand business knowledge, we closed this educational loop by having the original CFO of Health South participate in the judging and selection of our prize winners.
My name is Aaron Bean. I am known as a felon. After getting out of prison and losing all my material wealth, my legacy is thing that impressed me in the Belmont SIFE study is that it made the students think about the total impact their behavior would have. They had the foresight to think about how it could hurt a lot of people. This will teach them ethical behavior. One day when they're faced with something like I was, they will have the ethical bearing to realize this is not the thing to do.
Overall, we presented ethics to nearly 1,000 individuals in the Nashville area. Our online videos received an additional 3,000 views on YouTube, and our website had nearly 8,000 unique visitors. 97% of those surveyed in this project found the information new and informative, and the average pre-post test score of students in the high school classroom rose 24%. Those participating in the essay competition came from 34 different states and as far away as Indonesia. Through this project, we have provided future business leaders a truly deep-level understanding that the long-term success and prosperity of one's own business is dependent on ethical business practices.
And finally, sustainability. We hope you've been able to see our intentional focus on sustainability as we reviewed the projects.
By using a video-based teaching module in 7 languages, embedding it within SunTrust Bank's World Relief and IRC organizations, and offering the material online, this project has not only been seen by over 12,000 refugees across the country, but will continue to help future refugees as they pour into our market-based economy.
By establishing long-term relationships with those involved in the 100 Kings organization, we've been an instrumental part in keeping an at-risk group off the streets and in the classroom. By helping 38 students gain access to a university education and helping them acquire $550,000 in university funding, we've established a lifelong impact.
Through guiding 2 young social entrepreneurs on how to manage their small local business from chaos to achieving national recognition, and by increasing their revenue by over $500,000, funds will continue to support foreign adoption, our local refugee entrepreneurs, and orphanages around the world.
By providing computer skills linked to understanding financial strategies, as well as being written into a critical $1 million grant this year, the women of Thistle Farms will continue to move from a troubled background to a hopeful future.
And by creating a fun and educational reading option for teachers to easily embed in the classrooms, as well as teaching a community water conservation principles, we help to conserve 21 million gallons of water and help to prevent a water crisis.
And by educating nearly 1,000 participants in our business ethics principles, their future decisions will be focused through an ethical perspective.
Also, by creating a strategy for project sustainability that included placing at least 1 business advisory board member on every project, instituting a team-based project implementation system, and fostering succession planning by placing younger members in positions to be mentored by older team leaders, our own project sustainability will continue to increase.
And by creating a strategy for team sustainability, we enhanced our recruitment efforts around campus. We created a weekend-long SIFE membership workshop to kick off the new year and implemented new technologies such as cloud computing and virtual collaboration. As a result, our membership increased by 68%, and we are better equipped to manage and communicate across our team.
Our SIFE program is constantly taking steps to break the barriers that keep people from benefiting from our economic system.
Remaining static and allowing people to struggle has never been an option for our team.
By establishing relationships with addicts, orphans, refugees, business professionals, as well as students in our high schools and universities, we're providing them the experience and education needed to utilize our market-based economy.
SIFE USA, establishing long-term relationships that rebuild and empower our local and global communities through the positive power of business. This concludes our 2010 World Cup presentation.
Let's thank the team from the United States. We will now begin the question and answer period.
The 100 Kings program has been in existence for the past 5 years. What's different about it this year than any of the previous years, and what lessons have you learned from the project?
In response to your first question, we have worked with them for 5 years, and we think that's a critical part of our success for that program. This year, we intentionally placed focus on getting to college in terms of their entrance exam with the ACT examination, and also visiting colleges, showing them that college was within their reach. For the ACT prep, when we started, they had about a 17 to 18 average on ACT, which is a 0 to 36 scale. They've increased to 21 to 22% average, which in Tennessee enables them for scholarship money through our Hope Scholarship. So that was really fantastic to see.
And just to add on to that real quick, just to clarify, these are students that we've been working with, the same students for the last 5 years. So we focused on college this year because this is they're seniors in high school this past year. So that's why we've been focusing on college preparation.
USA, congratulations on an outstanding presentation. You've done very, very well. One could almost touch on any one of your programs, but let me touch on the 100 Kings as long as the question was asked on that. Does Belmont show a preference for those high school students who are applying for entry into colleges? I hadn't heard any one of those mention Belmont. Are they coming into your schools? And I guess as you go on with the program, the opportunity to use some of those students as case studies in helping other high school students to stay through high school, graduate, and go on to a university.
None of the students are actually going to Belmont University. Our university and university president has a great relationship with that parent organization, 100 Black Men of Middle Tennessee, and we did offering a matching scholarship. So if they wanted to come to Belmont, we would match what else they were offered. We are taking that program already and applying it to different groups. The Nashville Stars and the Oasis Center you heard, we're already starting this year. So we think we've hit on something that's really successful for other groups.
Well done, Belmont. I'm looking at your Tessel Farms. You mentioned that you've been able to train these prostitutes to the level of university proficiency level. How did you measure that?
Actually, we used Belmont's existing freshman exit exam that measures your proficiency on Microsoft Excel and Word and all of the other Microsoft programs. So we were able to utilize that test as a pre and post test that gauged our influence on their proficiency. And as the presentation said, most of the women scored very high on that test and are at the college level.
Quick question. The 147 orphans is an outstanding project, but it's the top of the iceberg. So what are you going to do next? You shut it off, the system?
We've created a really impactful relationship with these women and are extremely excited to continue the project into this year and in future years. One of the specific things we're going to be working on this year is continuing to streamline and link their accounting processes, their inventory management processes, and distribution processes. Specifically, we're hoping to relocate them to an entirely new distribution center. Right now, all of their distribution is managed out of Suzanne, one of the founders' garages. And so that's one of our big goals for this year is to work on all three of those processes, but also with the distribution.
With the 147 Million Orphans program, you're operating across a very wide array of complex countries. And have you thought about helping the women to partner up with an existing agency which is already on the front line across all those countries to get better effectiveness and to better measures as well?
In fact, one of the reasons we were able to do this project and we felt really comfortable about it is we have a Belmont SIFE alumni on the ground, alumnus on the ground in Uganda. And he's there on a 5-year contract working with another organization already. And so we feel comfortable having these impacts in Uganda because we know we have someone on the ground that we can talk to and make sure everything's being run smoothly and the administration of this funds that is pouring in is being handled well.
Not convinced. Because you're relying on a single source of information. Just think through a little bit further. Would you, as this project grows more significantly, would it not be beneficial for the women, or have you thought through how to embed the program into existing operations?
I think that's a really great point that you bring up. I think if we're reminded, though, that everything has started within the past year. So, I mean, even that connection, starting them out from the back of their cars into the distribution system that they have now, hooking them up with the Uganda tribe women, out in Africa. That's all happened this year. So before we make a step forward into making more connections, their growth was not forced. We built that system to support their growth. So we don't want to force them into, well, let's expand as quickly as possible. Let's settle what we do know now.
Your time has expired. Judges, please join me in thanking Belmont University SIFE team from the United States.